with matters in Nyeri County, and let's now cross over to live to Nyeri County, where my colleague Daniel Kariuki is on standby with political commentator Wambugu Nyamu to help put tomorrow's meeting among Uhuru, Ruto and Raila into perspective. Good morning, Daniel. Good to see you. Over to you.
Hi, thank you, George. And you said it right. Tomorrow, focus is shifting to the Mashujaa Day. It is the first time that it is happening here in Central Region. And again, it is actually about 3 more national events that President Uhuru Kenyatta will be presiding over. So this Mashujaa Day is, of course, one of the events that every eye is keen to see what is going to be taking place. Of course, Duncan Haemba's story there has highlighted some of the expectations in terms of politics, bearing in mind that most of the heavyweights in the political arena are going to be attending this Mashujaa Day tomorrow. That is President Uhuru Kenyatta, who of course will be the one leading the country to the national event, and the Deputy President William Ruto, as well as Raila Odinga, whom Alan Ochanda has just given a brief of his tour in this region. Remember, he has been having several stopovers, and yesterday President Uhuru Kenyatta, while he was on his tour, from afar could tell that he was trying to bring into perspective the meetings that have been happening here in Central Region, led by Raila Odinga as well as Deputy President, and telling the Central Kenya people to be keen they elect their next president, clearly telling it that he will not be in the ballot next election, and of course that Central Kenya might not be having a presidential candidate. I want to just have a sneak preview of the expectations, the political scenarios that we expect tomorrow in terms of speeches, in terms of what the president maybe will be talking about. I'm joined by Wambugu Nyamu, who is also a political analyst here in Nyeri County, just to analyze what we expect tomorrow. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. Tomorrow, President Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, and Deputy President William Ruto, among other key leaders, among ANC, Musalia Mudavadi, and even Kalonzo Musyoka. We expect them to be attending tomorrow's Mashujaa Day celebrations, and they have been making inroads here in Mount Kenya region. What are we going to be seeing tomorrow happen at the Uhuru Stadium in terms of politics? Do we expect maybe President to talk about these issues concerning Mount Kenya and the next election?
Thanks a lot. My name is Wambugu Nyamu. For sure, God willing, this is his last address for Mashujaa Day. And for one, don't expect him to pinpoint anybody that this is my preferred candidate. It's not going to happen. We have observed, because I've been to some of these meetings, actually the president has given a leeway to people to meet and discuss. In Mount Kenya region, you've been seeing so many meetings. The Kenjori meeting, the Kenjori Karua meeting, you've been seeing the elders meetings, you've been seeing so many groups meeting to discuss issues concerning Mount Kenya. Even in Meru, you've seen them, and 2022, which is normal. And what I know about the president, and I'm not guessing, is he's given leeway to people to discuss issues concerning 2022. He has not. I don't even know why people are feeling entitled, why people are feeling bitter. Uhuru has not pinpointed that this is my preferred candidate. He's never told us this is my preferred candidate. And I'm not expecting him to say this is my preferred candidate. What I expect him to do tomorrow is he's going to give a chronology of events. He's going to analyze his leadership for the last 10 years. He's going to talk about his achievements, he's going to talk about the pitfalls, he's going to talk about the challenges, and he's going to advise the nation on the best way forward and how he thinks this nation should be. Because his term coming to cessation, God willing, doesn't mean he ceases to be a Kenyan. So we expect him to tell us that this is what I have seen. I expect in future, this is the kind of leadership you've been seeing. And I think he has been categorical on one thing, that he would like to have leadership that has integrity, leadership that cares for this country, leadership that is going to have this country united. And for sure, other than the political noise making, the country has not been that badly disunited. Yeah.
And of course, we cannot ignore the fact that we have seen President more often talking about my brother Raila Odinga. Sometimes we cannot ignore the fact that we have seen him making some inroads and actually most of the time in association with Raila Odinga in some meetings and even opening some projects alongside Raila Odinga. And even yesterday, he was addressing several stopovers in Kirinyaga County, as well as some of the areas here in Nyeri County. And I heard him say, while talking in the vernacular language, that juzi mumeona there was someone here ambaye mgeni alikuwa ametutembelea hapa. Don't you think that in one way or another might be sending a message politically?
I think Uhuru has been very consistent on saying he wants to live a united nation. This nation had been so much divided between now what you are calling the NASA and what you are calling the Jubilee. And he has been consistent on unity. And he has been consistent on telling people, go and seek your own votes. And normally, it was being said that Raila can't be allowed to do his politics in this place. That is the kind of talk that was there. People are saying you can't sell pork in this region. So I think what we wanted to say is that allow everybody, even that one, that people thought cannot do campaigns here, is doing campaign. And Uhuru has never even stopped Ruto himself from doing campaigns here. I've never heard him say that Ruto don't do campaign. I've never heard him say Kalonzo don't do, Musalia don't do. What he has said is he wants unity in everything. Lastly, he has his own opinion on what would like to happen. But this is a democratic country. At the end of the day, it is the people who will cast their ballot. His opinion is that I am allowing this one is doing, but he is not going to say, elect this one. And this is my preferred candidate. Don't expect that.
So you are saying that from the newspapers today, we have seen that yesterday he said that wait for my cue, that I'm going to tell you how you are going to do this.
Yeah, he is going to tell us. He's not going to tell us, vote for you or vote for me. He's not going to tell you, vote for Mbogo Nyamo. But he's going to tell you, vote for this kind of leadership. And what you expect tomorrow, that chronological event and the way the challenges he has seen, he's going to enumerate them. And he's going to tell the people, this is what I would expect you to look for in the future leadership. But don't expect him to tell us that vote for Ruto, vote for Raila, vote for Musalia, vote for Kalonzo. No. And there's another notion that is being said that there are no presidential candidates in Mount Kenya. Presidential candidates are there. It's only maybe they may not be front runners. But I keep on telling you people, it is still too early. It is to look at the history of politics in this country. No leadership has been clearly defined more than almost 1 year before elections. Right. By the time we reach January, February, March next year, things change in this country. You never know what is going to happen. But it's good. Let everybody come to Mount Kenya region. Let Ruto come. And let Raila come. Let them not come with bitterness. Let them come. Let them tell us what they want to do. Let them give us our model, their models. And most important for us in Mount Kenya region, let them talk about security of our people, security of our investment, security and the ability of our people to own and do business anywhere in this country. That is key to the Mount Kenya region.
So that I wrap up with that on President Uhuru Kenyatta and tomorrow's speech, what are we going to be seeing tomorrow? Do we expect maybe the president to invite maybe Raila Odinga to speak to them, to the Kenyans, or will it maybe be the deputy president who will do that? And how can it, maybe others might analyze if president calls Raila Odinga to make the speech might be an endorsement. Others might say maybe the deputy should do it, or maybe the governor.
For one, I can't talk about protocol because protocol is the owners of the state. But normally, all the functions we've seen in the past is that it has been allowed for all leaders to speak in those functions. We've seen Raila speak, we've seen Ruto speak, we've seen Akina Kalonzo, Musalia speak. We've seen all those things happen. As the protocols who talks before the other one, I would say let us not speculate, let us wait and see what will happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. So what then does Uhuru say or mean when he says that the region should wait for his signal?
Definitely. It is our culture. It is our tradition. Uhuru is our Modamaki. Somebody who has been our kingpin for 10 years. Definitely, he has a God-given role to give some more form of guidance. And this is our culture. Even in your own family, as you see, you give direction. And you don't necessarily say that Mbogo Nyamo, you will be in charge of this family, but he gives directions. This is what I expect you to do after I'm not there. This is how I would expect things to be done. Do this for the good of the family. So as our regional kingpin, as our Modamaki, we expect him to give us some guidelines. And those guidelines are there. And as I told you, I have not heard of a situation where he has pinpointed anybody. And let me tell you, he has given leeway, like our party now, you also have a presidential candidate. I've never had a situation where he's saying, don't choose that one, that nobody in Mount Kenya should contest, nobody in Ukambani, no. We expect him to give us guidelines. And guidelines are expected of him. It is his God-given command, and it is our right for him to give a certain direction, not necessarily pinpointing a presidential candidate.
Finally, yesterday he said that he is going to deal with those who are in government, and they are corrupt, those corrupt in the government. And critics will ask, it is just a few months to the election. Why now? Why then now maybe threaten to remove those who are corrupt from the government, and yet he's almost over with his term?
My position has always been very clear. The problem with this country is not the economic model. It is not the 6,000. It is not the bottom-up. It is not all those things we are being told. My position has been very clear, and I think I stated it yesterday in the Amada station yesterday, is that the moment we shall take corruption and theft of public funds by the horns, that is the time we shall liberate this country. All the other is political talk. And if he can do something the last 1 year and ensure that Chapter 6 of the Constitution is implemented to the letter, the better for the progeny of this country, the better for the young people of this country. Because if it happens, we'll be able to save enough money, and everybody's talking about 360 billion in a year. That money, if we subsidize the health sector, that money, if we subsidize the education sector, me, Wambogo Nyamo, and you and Clement here will be left with excess funds. That excess funds, that money we shall have saved from saving in education and in health will help us invest and will help the country grow economically. So if he is going to tackle corruption from tomorrow, like he says, and he promises, it's never too late. He can tackle it even within 3 months. He can tackle it within 6 months. He has a whole 9 months to do that. If he can do that, we shall always remember him that at the end of his term, he did proud for this country. Right. That is critical.
Right, of course. Thank you very much. Wambugu Nyamo there says it is never too late when it comes to fighting corruption. Well, that is just some of the sneak preview and analysis concerning matters politics as we head to the Mashujaa Day tomorrow. And just like George said, we are going to be here to ensure that we give you full coverage of what will be happening. But for now, I want to hand over back to George in studio.
Indeed, we shall be bringing you wall-to-wall coverage of the Mashujaa Day celebrations live from Uhuru Stadium in Kirinyaga County. And in case you were just wondering what Daniel Kariuki was